All right, we're back. Finish up the NFL updates and jumping into our weekly movie review, HSC Podcast 152. Movie review has been very, very popular. Lots of comments. Again, any movie reviews, let us know. Just shoot in the comments. We'll take care of you. So this week, in honor of my Disney trip, we are doing Disney movie reviews. And if you haven't been to Disney World, guess what? Florida sucks. It's hot, humid, but it's fun. So make your decision. If you like to spend a lot of money to sweat a lot, you'll love it. But the three Disney movies we got, let's see. Let's go first with Derek's movie. So we're working on Star Wars movie here, Rogue One. Wes, why don't you just give us a quick overview? What do you think of Rogue One?
It's, you know, as far as like the newer Star Wars movies, it's probably my favorite. Just the way it's made. The battle scenes at the end are just superior to the other movies. Um, it's such a long scene where they go and they have to go and get the plans for the Death Star. Um, I thought Felicity Jones played a really good character. And no, of course they got Andor was great in the movie. Sporting class,
It
special
also
effects
makes
are
a great
amazing.
spin-off series too, right?
Yeah, Andor. It's really popular spinoff series. Um, the cameo of Darth Vader is probably my favorite part of the movie.
It's the
Um,
best.
I'm not gonna give it away. It's Darth Vader. Just use your imagination. But it's not like the I want to say I'm more of the Darth Vader Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. That dude's scary. It is also scary when your first memory as a child is Darth Vader going to the theaters and watching him chop off a boy's hand. Um, and so that's the Darth Vader that's in Rogue One. So you won't be disappointed at that. It it's a little longer in spots in the beginning, but the ending is so good. You just appreciate the how they even made that battle scene. Um, it's uh, it's not the happiest ending in the world because you kind of know if you watch Star Wars, you know how it ends um, when they get the plans for Death Star. And then there's an appearance by I guess Princess Leia in a sense, which is kind of interesting. But
You gotta
yeah,
do what you gotta do.
yeah, it's the cast. I cast was great. The guy that played Joan Tolkien was interesting. Yeah, it's probably my favorite of the newer ones. Even I like it better than the Attack of the Clones and
Force Awakens,
Revenge of
stuff
the
like that.
Yeah, of course the Force. Yeah. I like the Force Awakens, but I like Rogue. I'm partial to Rogue One.
You know what I enjoy about Rogue One though was they really capture the essence of the old movies in Rogue One with, obviously they use the same type of cinematography, they use the same similar type of droids and ships and just, the viewables. It makes you feel like it happened before Star Wars 4, right? Because that's really what they're trying to do. They're trying to fit something into the middle there to help you understand how they got to getting the Death Star plans. And they had all of the CGI in the world, but they made it very similar to if I was watching the prequel to New Hope. which that's what I really enjoyed about the movie in general. It's very slow in the beginning, and it's a long movie. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes, right?
Mhm.
But you're 100% right. It's worth it in the end. The last scene is worth it to me because how much do we remember that first scene in New Hope when Darth Vader comes through the door?
Yeah.
That's our scene, right?
It even his voice is he kind of the voice in the New Hope is just like when he's yelling, it's like, okay, this dude's scary. Like this is the bad guy, and there's no doubt about it. This like and it you know I can't get out of my head listening to some of the Darth Vader and like Revenge of the Sith when he's like, no. I don't think I can ever get that
Where's
out of my head.
Padme?
Yeah, but it's like what happened to Darth Vader? This is what Bart. I mean, this is how this all went down. Like, and then to see him at Rogue One, you're just like, oh, thank you.
They also made it the difference between that same scene because it's really the same scene in New Hope and the end of Rogue One, right? Where he's breaking through the Carillion cruiser. Actually, I don't know if it's a Carillion. I can't remember the name of it, but whatever. He breaks into it, and then in the beginning of the first movie, it's just a lot of shooting and stuff like that. But in Rogue One, he's blocking all the blaster shots and then using the force to move people around, and that's really cool, right? Because that's how you imagine Darth Vader. And so overall, I think if you can get through the whole movie, it's a great movie in general. There's a lot of like story building in the beginning, which is slow, but it's easy to get into, as a Star Wars fan. And so it finishes really strong. Cinematography is great. The essence of capturing old Star Wars, I think it's the best movie for that as well. So, Derek, it's your movie. Give us your overview.
Well, I picked it because one is because Andor season 2 has just came out. Well, is out already. It's finished. And thinking of Disney Star Wars because the prequels and then the 4 through 6 were before Disney bought it. So what do you got? You got the three after Solo and Rogue One. And I think Rogue One is probably the fourth best Star Wars movie behind the original three.
Wow, that's bold.
Is it though? If you look at that, I mean,
I like the first three. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I
I,
think they're
I,
good. Maybe
I,
not one as good as two and three, but they're all pretty good.
I, I don't dislike them that. There's just things that I don't like that much. I don't like the love crap and the writing was not good. But I when it came to the end of those movies, I could stomach or the beginning of Revenge of the Sith when
Dude,
he fought Count Dooku. That was awesome.
yeah, there's
That beat
some good scenes.
the lightsaber scenes were awesome in the first three. Yes, I like that. I loved Obi-Wan. I love
Or
Ewan
like in the
Gray. I
beginning
love
and
Darth Maul. But there's things in it you're just like, man, couldn't you do a little bit better? I mean, this is Star Wars. You're not making some freaking horror movie or some stupid shit. This is Star Wars. Okay? Your first two Star Wars were epic. It's like I mean, the first Star Wars up for Best Picture, a sci-fi movie. I mean, it hasn't happened too many times in the history of cinema.
right.
It's like, and everyone was anticipating, oh man, Phantom Menace. Everyone's like, everybody went and saw that movie. That was the most anticipated movie almost ever. And you,
But the opening scene of Phantom Menace with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan
yeah,
doing all their stuff, that's pretty cool. And then the Darth Maul scene
Yeah.
again with them. Those are both pretty cool scenes.
Oh, Darth
And
Maul. Yeah.
then there's Jar Jar Binks and the Gundans.
The Gundams are like they're like the more dumbed down version of the Ewoks.
Yeah, they're not even as good as the Ewoks.
No, the Ewoks were smarter.
And then and I feel bad because I guess he got harassed constantly, and that's, Star Wars fans, but Jake Lloyd's Anakin was just like, oh God, it
Right.
was ridiculous. And the whole pod, what could you, yeah. So Phantom Menace is not better than Rogue One because of that stuff. The second movie, the whole, like you said, the whole time they're on Naboo and the love story, like the cringy dialogue between
I mean,
Anakin
that's the
and
best.
Padme.
I mean, if you can't, I mean, we know it's George Lucas. I mean, he's probably never been in a lot of those situations. I get it. Well, then get a girl to write those scenes.
Yeah.
You know, it's very simple. That's why you have co-writers. That's why you have multiple writers
Right.
and someone
Yep.
to write it off. Like if I was an editor and I saw that, I said, George, dude, this
But
is not going down. This is not going
there's
on
some
film.
pretty cool scenes, especially in Clones.
Oh, dude, Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite scene when Mace Windu comes in, and with the purple lightsaber, I was like, okay, it's going down now.
Yeah, but the whole, like, you have to fast forward half the movie because of the love story
Oh
parts.
yeah.
And then the third movie, we already went over it. No, come on, man.
I almost cried when I saw it, just out of like, how could he do this?
So, so you're putting Rogue One ahead of these ones. Um, the movie itself, though, like, tell us what makes it great.
Because it does remind me of the original trilogy that we watched
Right.
because it is darker. It's not happy. It's not like bright lights. There's no brightness to
Yeah.
it. It's darker times. It's like the sad story. It's not a good, it's like an Empire Strikes Back. It's not a happy ending. I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of is in a way, but not for everybody. I'll just like when me and Caitlin watched it for the first time and she had the ending and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "You kind of expected that if."
But they always do a good job of having good robots in the movies, and K2 in that movie is really good.
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then the whole message is about having hope,
Right.
and that's why I think it. And you didn't have like the furry little kid friendly toys or anything in this.
Right. No, it's I mean, it's good in that sense, in that for especially for us who watched, the original one as the first one, like if you watched New Hope as your first ever Star Wars, you always wondered, like, how did they get there? Like, how did we get to that point where the droids and Princess Leia is shooting off the plans, right? So it's a really good prequel, I think, in that sense. All right, well, Rogue One, good choice. Check it out. That's our review on it. Let's go to Pirates. So Wes went Pirates of Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. You couldn't pick the first one. Uh, I'll lead off with this one. I did enjoy the movie. And what I really enjoyed about the movie was, number one, I think even though as good as Johnny Depp was in the first one, he's better in this one, which he makes this franchise. There's no more believable character in many movies that you'll watch than Captain Jack Sparrow. Like, he literally encompasses this role better than I've seen from most actors and actresses in a million movies that we've seen. There's good action in it. It's very well done. The sword fight scene is the three-way sword fight scene has got to be one of the coolest scenes in movies. Like when all three of them are going at it with the swords for it. It's got to be 10 minutes,
It is.
which is really cool. But you also have a little bit of um, outside the box with your Davy Jones and your, dead men pirates, things like that, which makes it a little more fun in the movie. So that helps because it's a long movie and you got to be invested. Because there's points where you start getting lost a little bit. You're like, I'm not sure what's happening right now. But overall, very, very good movie. Um, you just can't take anything away from Johnny Depp. That's the thing. It's like he's so good. And that's why that's what's worth watching just for him. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Derek, what do you got?
Well, I'll start with they paid homage to the ride with the dog and the keys and the jail, which is awesome. Did you see that? Did you go on the ride, Steve?
Yeah, of course I did.
And then you know how they're trying to get the dog to
Right.
open, yeah, and then they did that. Um, for me, it's funny because I thought this was more of a story of Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom's characters, where Kira decided to be more of a pirate, and Orlando was like, "No, I'm steadfast, gonna be an honorable man." And that was like for me was the whole cat and mouse game with Keira Knightley and Johnny Depp's characters, where you think is Johnny gonna get the upper hand, or is she what's gonna happen? And what I like about it is she learned from the first movie you can't trust Jack Sparrow. So I liked that. And then the whole, um, I love the ending where Barbossa comes back at the end to set up the next movie.
Right.
And then, yeah, then Davy Jones is great. Bill Nighy.
Well, and they get the heart,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of setup happening on both sides.
Yeah. It's a whole setup of what's going to happen in the next movie. Yeah. And then,
Obviously, a trilogy or longer. Um, Unfortunate, like the whole the giant octopus squid thing.
Kraken.
Yeah, the crack, whatever you going to call it, right? It's all the same. It's a lot throughout the movie. It's such a big part of the movie. Ultimately taking down the Black Pearl, right?
Yeah. Which the whole first movie was him trying to get back to the Black Pearl.
Right. So, Wes, it's your movie. You picked it. Give us your breakdown.
I Again, it's one of those movies that you have the first one, and yes, I like the first one is funner to watch. It's Jack's more, and the first one's great. The second one, it kind of gives you that feel, the ending where it's like, okay, the it's you're under attack and you're trying to escape and you can't. And when I really like the part where he it takes down the Black Pearl is because everyone thought that Jack was just going to take off and leave and ditch everybody. And he's on the boat. He's like, I'm
Right.
gone.
And
I
then
got
he
the
comes
compass.
back.
I already got what I want. And then he comes back to the ship to go down with the ship. And yeah, what Derek was talking about, the cat and mouse game with Keira Knightley and him, because you're all, it's like she, everyone thought that, oh, she's so virtuous and stuff. And she kind of gets him back at the end was cool. And then of course, when Barbosa came back, it has kind of like more of a, that second bridge movie in a trilogy where, yeah, the bad guys win and that in that match, you know. And
I like how they make Keira Knightley though kind of a bad guy in the
yeah,
sense that Orlando Bloom sees it,
mhm.
with when she's kissing Jack Sparrow, but she's really gonna lock him up, but Bloom doesn't know it, and
It,
now she becomes that bad guy a little bit.
and
Or the pirate.
the visual specs and were just amazing. And when it came to Bootstrap, you know, his dad, Bill Turner, there was that subplot with him and his dad, who is a pirate who's basically taken over. He basically just, you know, a slave on the Flying Dutchman, and that whole aspect of it was really dark when you think about it. You know, Davy Jones' locker, and you know, it's just you knew something was going to go down. You knew that okay, that something when you first watch it, you're just like something's going to go down bad. And yeah, the scenes, you know, it was amazing. But what makes the movie without Jack Sparrow, there isn't really a great movie. There you can't. The franchise is all about him, and this idea that they were going to do another Pirates without him, I can't see it.
No, when you even in this movie, like when they have some of these random scenes and to stretch the movie out for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
But like when they're on the island at the beginning and
yeah,
he's with the natives and then Orlando Bloom comes in and Roland Turner comes in, those are still the kind of scenes you can't make without
yeah,
Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp, right?
yeah,
Because otherwise it's boring.
yeah. And in the end, like right before Barbosa, when they're like, "Oh shoot, well I guess Jack's dead," you know, it's like, and the look on Keira Knightley's face is priceless.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much my fault. You know, it's like, um, yeah, it's you know, I don't mind long movies. I'll sit there and watch Lawrence of Arabia. I don't care. So it doesn't, you know. It
It's
kind
a
of had
good
an
movie.
epic feel to it too, which I
Yeah.
liked. You know,
It's a good follow-up movie, to the first movie. I don't think they lose a lot with it. I think I think the character turnover from with Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom works well. So it's definitely worth the watch, and I think it's a great movie. All right, well, let's get into last one here. Still, we're staying with the Disney, and this is Disney's Mufasa, the new Lion King. It's technically, I guess, live action. Still looks a little animated, but we'll call it live action. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this, Derek? Why don't you start?
Well, um, you know, me and Caitlin and Grayson, we watched it. We liked it. I like the beginning where you have Zazu telling the story, and then you have Timo and Pumbaa like telling their side of it, wanting to get involved with it. It was interesting. They changed a little bit of the backstory around to fit this movie from the other movies. They made Mufasa and Scar not brothers, but like adopted brothers kind of a thing.
Right.
So that was interesting. But they got a lot of the people back from the other live action. And yeah, I mean, it's a good story about jealousy, and it's good because people were talking about it and they're like, please don't make it a movie where we feel bad for Scar. And you don't. He's a complete jerk. So I like that part. I like that they didn't give him some kind of redemption to it. But yeah, is it as good as like the original animated? No, but it was good. I think it's better than the live action version of The Lion King.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with I guess it's kind of animated. They're trying to make it live action, but it's more realistic looking. And I think they did a good job with that as far as the scenes and making it not feel cartoonish. Just it felt
Right.
more real, but then you have talking animals, which is obviously weird, but they did a good job making it feel more real. Wes, what do you got?
Well, I started watching it last night, and first time I watched, I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and then around midnight, I watched again, and then fell asleep again. So I didn't finish until this morning. But yeah, the technology, I is that live action? The technology is the way it looks is pretty amazing. It's like I don't watch a lot of new stuff when it comes to anime or live action. Um, yeah, just the visual effects are amazing. I don't. I mean, it's I don't know. Movies like Lion King and stuff. It's kind of like tugs at my heartstrings, which I don't like. So I'm like, I'm hesitant to watch. So then I got my dad to watch it with me, and he fell asleep too. So I mean, he was pretty like he liked it to a certain extent. He liked the way it looked. I liked the way it looked. It's just if you're in the mood to actually if you have kids, it's a great movie. If you're like me and you're just you want to watch
Scarface.
Scarface or Donnie Brasco, it's probably not for you. So, um, but it's
It's
amazing.
Disney, dude. It's wholesome.
It's wholesome, and that's when it's it's something I need to implement more in my life. Wholesomeness was is good. So I will reintroduce that type of movie watching here. I need probably another couple weeks of just what I usually watch. But yeah.
You just watch a bunch of Disney and rejuvenate your heart, Wes.
I need a cat. That's what I need, or a dog.
Well, so it's typical Disney, right? I like the way that they are changing, or they change at least this from that animated, because animated's fine, but this was actually it felt a little bit more real, and I actually enjoyed watching that more than an animated version of it.
Yeah, and
So
usually when they use that type of technology, it's the process of the characters speak. Everything's slower,
yeah,
but it's visually like, oh, the detail's amazing, but it's the rendering and everything is slower.
but it still
Except
feels more
now
real. It
it's
feels
so
more real.
real.
Yeah,
It looks like it's the technology is amazing.
right.
It must have took them quite a few. Usually movies like that take about 4 or 5 years to make because of all the detail.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
the story though, the story's good, and I don't know, maybe I missed it, but I don't know that I ever knew the backstory of Lion King. And so for this, it was my first backstory of Mufasa. And I thought it was a cool story of them, traveling across the plain and going from running from the other lions and getting to Malele, whatever you want to call it, the tree of life.
it's and the thing is, it within our movie reviews for this week, we just kind of came full circle. Me and Derek had super like hardcore movies where the ending it's questionable and things are very dark and there's all these octopuses destroying and killing people And then we come for this last movie where, it kind of makes you feel good as long as your heart's in the right place, which
Right.
I'll have to watch it again here in about a week or two.
The interesting thing about it is that it's typical Disney though, right? Because there's got to be a message in the movie. And the message is like the jealousy, right? And because that's really what it is with Tanaka, which eventually becomes Scar.
Yeah.
It's like a jealousy over, you lost the girl and now you're jealous.
Well, and that's what your dad said was going to happen.
Right. But isn't that kind of like the story of every dude ever? Like every mad guy because he lost a girl?
You turned her against me.
Oh, there you go. Right? Is that not
You
the
turned
same
her.
thing? I mean, let's literally look back on it. Isn't it like Anthony and Cleopatra? Like, let's go as far back as you want to
Oh,
go.
dude. You want to talk about an epic. You want to
Adam
talk
and
about a
Eve?
4-hour movie. Cleopatra is probably one of the
Uh,
hardest movies to watch.
but ultimately, isn't that what that movie's about? Like, you watch
Yeah.
the whole movie, there's all kinds of cool things, but ultimately, it's because Scar, Tanaka, whatever you want to call him, betrays Mufasa over a woman.
Dude, what? He doesn't remember the saying.
Yeah. Bros before O's. But it's still good. I actually enjoyed it. So I actually was glad because I haven't seen it. I wanted to watch it, and I give it a good review. I think it's worth a watch.
And when the you changed the name and stuff, it did make me think of Scarface too.
It's kind of cool though at the end though, right? When he kind of banishes him but doesn't, and then that really makes you think about what happens in like the future, right? Because
Right.
you're like, he's coming back. Like,
Yeah, it's
you
coming
think
back.
that's the end of him? Like, that's not the end of
And
him.
and when you think
He's
about,
gonna throw you off a cliff someday.
yeah, I mean, when you show mercy like that,
Right.
you're also kind of displaying
Showing
weakness, and
weakness.
you're
Mhm.
displaying weakness, and it's
Yep.
like you're like, you just kind of have to go. See, that's where I come in. I'm like, you just go for the throat.
Just
Like,
killed
what are you
him. You should have
doing?
just killed him right there. Just
But he
have the
wants to be
elephants
a
trample him.
merciful king.
A merciful king, yes.
Right. That's what got Gladiator Russell Crowe killed.
Did it?
He should have just killed him.
Oh, that's right.
He
Yeah,
just killed him.
yeah. So totally.
He had the chance, but that little boy changed his mind. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
When he comes down, he's got the thing in his hand. He walks out, and then the little boy Lucius runs out, and he doesn't kill him. He should have killed him right there.
All right, it's gotten dark now, dude. This was
Life
this was
lessons.
this was like my one family moment, and it just turned it dark.
Life lessons. Mercies for the weak.
That's right.
Yeah, sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg. Well, they were actually really good movies. So they were very long. It was a lot of hours between the three of them, but we got it done. Good reviews there. We'll get some shorts out for you to comment on and make sure you guys check them out. But don't forget any comments. Love to hear some movie ideas. Happy to hear it. We'll review those. Any wrap up thoughts here? All right. Well, we'll wrap it there. HSC
Go
Podcast.
Knicks. Go Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks. Man, that's going to be interesting. Hopefully, I mean, not hopefully, but maybe by the next podcast, we'll have that wrapped up and
I'm
see
already
how
sick of
we
the
we came out.
Celtics.
My
So
goodness. NBA playoffs go on for years.
It is. They like to put 2 or 3 days between each game, so we might have a next one. All right, we'll wrap it up there. We'll see you guys next time.